you. I hit the live.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So welcome Princi to this conversation, and I'm excited as I was when I hosted you earlier. And thank you
Yeah.
so
Okay.
much for taking this opportunity and being my guest again.
Yeah. Thank you so very much for inviting me such a like-minded podcast because you already hit a lot of the top performer of I can say for entrepreneurs, the real
Yeah.
show for helping coaches like me. So yes, it's a big advantage for me and opportunity as well to work with you and collaborate with you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. So, Princi, I loved your conversations earlier. We had a few, and it's not new. Like your subject is not new to me, but today we are talking about a very interesting topic, and we will dive into the questions. Before that, I want you to introduce yourself so that people who are watching this live or over a replay can get related with you. So,
Yes,
tell
of
me a little
course.
bit about you.
Yes, of course. My name is Princi Jain, and I am an NLP coach, soft skill trainer, and image consultant. I belongs to Sharda Group of Institution, and I completed my soft skill training from ICBI, that is Image Consulting and Business Institute. One is from IID, completed my master's, and I work as a journalist as well. So if this all things resonate with you, now I'm practicing and myself as an NLP coach and image consultant, soft skill trainer. And you can, if you want to connect with me, you can DM to Ranjani ma'am and to me as well on social media.
Wonderful. So we have touched upon this topic in different ways in our previous conversation, but today we are talking about the inner architecture of leadership, self-image, and confidence. Okay, so getting into the conversation of this podcast, my first question to you is: when we say the inner architecture of leadership, what does that truly mean in today's context of this conversation?
Yes, of course. Whenever you comes out from your house, uh, there is one point, one skill everyone needs. Because at the very early age, we taught our children to be a leader, not a follower. So for us, it is very important to follow this ritual, I can say. So now it is our decision making power, how we are creating impact through our decisions. So what I believe about myself and what I take me as a self image. I mean, what I am, what my identity is, what I want to be in just 3 months or just in the time period of 3 years as well. So your beliefs about yourself and your self image plus your emotional reflexes, how you are responding at the time of challenges, at the time of those event and situation where you are not where you are thinking like that I am not able and I am not capable of doing such and such task. So it is your inner architecture, how you are competing with those situations in your day to day basis life. I hope this question is clear to my audiences and the people who are listening to it. Yes.
Yes, yes. So, see, your philosophy of leadership, because I remember when I started my journey, especially as a coach in the online space 5 years back, and I have this, I remember putting myself as a leadership and business coach
Yeah.
very early. Uh, so, when I talk about leadership, and maybe I also talk in the same lines as you're speaking, it's more about you being able to make those choices. Yeah, like you have that power, and
Yeah.
fundamentally I believe we all born. It's not like you can't be a leader, or there is no difference, like no, there's only particular set of audience can be a leader. Everyone, each one of us is born to be a leader, just you need to exercise your right to claim it. So thank you so much for that reminder.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so moving on, Let's when we are talking about the inner architecture, let's look at the practical steps that leaders can take to rebuild a stronger self concept.
Yes, of course. What we understand with the word self concept, I mean, uh, for my parents, I could be a teacher. For my
Hmm.
friends, I could be a leader. For my family members, for my other family members, I might not be that much confidence. So it depends on the perception of each and everyone with whom we, live our life on daily basis. Because we are so much engaged with the activities like home scenario, schools, colleges, universities, and each and everywhere. We met a lot of people and they have their different opinion about themselves as well, for ourselves as well. So the counter evidence law, what we understand with it, daily one exercise which we can include in our day-to-day basis life, write just one fact that is contradict in our personality, so that we will understand how we are communicating, what we are presenting, and what the changes we can do to enhance our self concept. Like, if I'm not able to do certain tasks in my earlier days, that doesn't mean that I'm not able to complete my that task in my future self. So this is
Hmm.
my old belief that I do not get that much marks in my
Hmm.
curriculum, like in my exams. But what if I am the topper right now? So this is my old belief. Now what you can do is you can replace this with your new belief, and this will create your self concept, because everyone, we all have that much potential in us that we can compete, because we are the only competitor of us. No one else there in the market, not in the social media, not in your school, not in the colleges as well, because children nowadays are very much found of that I'm not able to handle this stress right now, because my friend getting 97% of marks and I'm getting only 60% of marks. So this is the comparison where so this all these scenarios and situation created our self concept. This is our self concept where we think that today I am a failure, but what if I will succeed in my future self? So
Hmm.
what we can do is replace your old belief with your new and confident belief, so that you will grab that opportunity, that success and confidence in your life.
Hmm. Interesting. So, as we say, we are the authors of our story. So,
Yes,
you have to write that new story.
yes,
I remember having this exercise from one of my mentors where he will take us to half of a story and then he will ask us to complete the rest. So, the rest of the story everyone writes is a version of what you
yeah,
see
yeah,
the lead character would take. So, writing that story, you can do it for yourself, not just writing a story, and that includes a lot of belief, as you said, creating the future version of you, a
of
powerful and
yourself.
confident version of you,
Yes, of
and you
course.
daily investing in that rather than no the past that anyways is not going to serve you anymore.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, so let's move on. So when it comes to working with professionals, how can they align their image, their communication and behavior to build trust quickly?
yes, of course. Very, meaningful and fruitful conversation we are having right now, and such a remarkable question from your side, Ranjani ma'am. Because nowadays we all are competing for our image, for our communication, and for our behavior as well. People think that I am not capable and not fit in that particular role. And at the time of promotion, why not me? Why the
Mm.
other person have that opportunity to come and to grab that position, which I also want to be there, and positioning myself for that particular job role, or rather I can say any of the leader role in our life, whether we are a kid or a school or college student. or working professional. So we have to look into it. What are those things? Like, what are, ask yourself, first of all, just for your image perspective, ask yourself, does my image align with that particular job role or where I'm standing? That job role or the professional or in your personal life as well. Does my image align with that room? So, next is your tonality. How you are expressing yourself, that is more important than your words. As I already mentioned in the previous podcast or the session with you, ma'am, that words are only 7% important. And
Hmm.
our body language, our tonality, that is 35% important. So work on your tonality, how you want to express yourself in front of, whether you are in your personal setting or your professional setting. So am I warm and clear to each and everyone? Because communication is a two-way process. And you should be an active listener as well. Because at the time of when you express yourself, it might be possible that other person is not in that mood or not in that, present in that particular moment. So it is important to be there with your image, with your tone. And lastly, follow through. Ask yourself, have I done what I said?
Hmm.
That's build the competent and the personality which you want.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So, before we run into the further questions, I want to know, like, with all your coaching skills and expertise and the image consultancy that certifications that you have, who are the people you are helping, and what kind of programs you offer to help them, tap into their full potential.
yeah, of course. It's very, very wonderful journey for me to helping all those people, whether they are student, housemakers,
Mm,
coaches, entrepreneurs, and working professionals as well. Through my channels like on Instagram, Facebook, and you can find me on YouTube as well.
mm,
There I uh, created a lot of content over your mindset, your communication, and what language you can use to succeed in your life, whether you want to succeed in your personal life or in your professional life. Because each and everyone are seeking success and
mm,
happiness as well. So uh, if you want to, uh, just be there on that success journey,
mm,
focus on yourself. Self awareness is very important. Why self awareness is important? As we are today talking about self image, how your self image, I mean, just it is a mirror. What the other person perceiving from you, your your qualities, your capabilities, your potential. So these are the things which make a person different from the other person. So work
mm,
on yourself. Try to fix all those problems which are there in your personality. This way, you can, if you are not there, do not worry about your failures, your setbacks, your obstacles. You can work on yourself. If you are not working on yourself till yesterday, start working on yourself from today as well.
beautiful.
So these are some of the things, and these are some of the points which we have to keep in mind. As an NLP coach, it is very important that what the language we are using for ourselves
Mhm.
that create our self-image.
Yeah.
I hope, ma'am, we are touching those point in from each and everyone life, because it is very important to focus on yourself.
Yes. So when it comes to self leadership or anything, when it comes to achieving, a life of your dreams, I think the only place we need to look at is your own self, because you are the one who is the captain of the ship, and and if you want to direct it to a direction where you want to go, so the captain needs those skills, information, and all that is needed to get there. So that's why, all this conversation that we are into. So let's talk about the feminine leadership, and how does that look like in the modern workplace. What do you have to say?
Yes, very, catchy question because we both are feminine and we are going to talk about the leadership in each and every working professional. Rather, if I am a housewife, so I need some management in my life from morning to night. So it is very important to understand what we can change because we are the change maker for our husband, for our family, for our kids as well, because we are making future leaders at home scenario. We are the first teacher for our student. So it is very important to understand the value of feminine leadership. So it is, but it is also a contradictory part because it is not about gender. It is about the capabilities, the competence which we are having. It is not about the competition in male or female. It is about uh, how we can give the hand holding support to each other in our in our life, whether we are in a boardroom or in our home scenario. Because it is very easy to say this, but this will take a lot of hardship to understand. So, listening to learn what you are learning. We all are the people, visual, kinesthetic, and auditory. We learn through these three senses more than our apart from two senses. So, listening to learn, power with, not over. With whom you are working, it is important to collaborate in a very healthy manner. It is like hand holding support, or it is like hand on hand, gesture. So if, and yes, because we are also celebrating give and gain this year. So it is
Yeah.
very important to give, to gain. If you are doing this, surely and you will get the result oriented. I mean, just you will have the uh, those benchmark in your life which you want to achieve in your life. So now, making space for diverse input. It is not like I am the only one who is right in the whole scenario, and it is not like that only certain people are right in their journey, in their success story, with their so many things they are having in their life. So now, research in research shows that team who has these traits, I mean, listening power and with hand holding support and with diverse input, they are 43% greater complex problem solver than other people. So it is very important to understand your potential, what you can do for others, and how you can reach your goal with with your team or with your wherever you are working, whatever you are doing. You can have your success in your life with the help of others as well. So yes, whenever you got the opportunity, please ask yourself, am I that much confident before doing anything? Am
Mhm.
I doing justice with my job role? Am I doing justice with whatever I am doing in my life? This way, ask these questions first before doing or starting anything. I hope, ma'am, we both are clear what we want to, uh, convey from this conversation.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
as you said, no, when it comes to feminine leadership, it's you made it very clear, like it's not not related to gender actually.
yeah,
And feminine energy and masculine energy is something we all have, like we have in equal quantities. It's just that
yes,
how much you exercise or how much are you aware of that. So both men and women have these two energies, so you can, you could utilize both, and or use one, whatever works. But it was not related to the gender that we are talking about. It's just about the energy, and it's more about the person. and how that person is committed to, to achieve, whether it is in the family setup or in a workplace setup.
Work
Wherever
together.
you are, we work with people, we need people to support us. So whether it's your family or your team, we work together, or the peer community, to
Yes, of course.
get to the results that we are looking for.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
as as I understand in my life, female are the softer part. They are like very humble, soft in their journey, with their tonality, with their appearance as well. And the male part is like very hard. It is like the authoritative figure we are finding, and the one with whom we are dependent on. So this is the difference. If we are going to act like a male, and we are talking to a male person, this will create a clash in our life, whether it is a personal life or a professional life.
Yeah. So there is a balance. I think the one famous phenomena, I could come across was the analogy of Shiv and Shakti. You know,
Yes,
we have
yes,
this Shiv and Shakti. It's a combination of both the energies, and it's
yes.
up to you. It is nothing like, you need. It can be, you have it. It's just that you can use it. It's up to you to use these powers, both the man and the masculine as well as the feminine.
Feminine.
All right. Yeah. So let's move on to the next question.
Yes, of
So when it comes to being a good performer to a true influencer in your space, what does it take to move from being a performer to influencer?
Uh, when we perform, we executing a such and such task. Performing, that means you have a certain role or you have a task to execute. But when it comes to influence, that means you are creating the life of others. What you can change in other person's life, whether it is positive or negative. But if you are looking at, you are not going to change, or if you are not, you do not want to change other person in a negative manner. So influencer, that means you're changing other person's life. And if you're talking about a performer, that means you have to complete a certain task in a certain time or in certain time period. That is execution, and here you are changing other person's life. So now stop asking yourself, what do I need to do as a performer? Do not ask yourself what I need to do. Ask yourself what the need of the system where you are working, whether in a organization, and if you're working in as a separate entity, sorry, uh, if you're working as a whole soul of the particular business, ask yourself what is the demand of that system. How can I change myself according to my performance for the betterment of my because no one wants to be in that scenario where people want to face failure in their life. And one more thing, there is no failure, only the feedback. We all are learning day by day with our own, you know the fear the from the matrix of I'm not good at this is not my cup of tea, and we are Indians, we are just doing these things from hundred of years. So this is not the scenario today. We are the modern Indian people today, and we have to work like what does the system need, what we can do in the for the system, for the organization, for the job roles as well. So, yes, this way we can create the harmony in between the performance, in between the task of a performer and the true influencer.
Yeah. So I would like to add here. So influence is something, no, it is there with everybody. Like
Yeah.
the way you talk, the way you move, way you do things. It's not about just saying or telling people that. No, it's not just the, I would say, the metrics that you said. No, the metrics that we uh, we used to measure ourselves. But for parents or for siblings, we are there to influence them. As a personality, we influence people through the way we, you know, do things, the way we show up, the way we behave. So there is there is an influence at a very subtle level. There is an influence when, especially in the workplace, when people are at the place of authority, where the way you do things, like if your boss is doing something, it really influences the team,
Yes,
the
of
way he
course.
does the approach, so that the team can then do things in a way that works for the entire unit. Eventually it's not just this is my way of doing things. So influence is there. And we can be aware, as a team member or as a boss or a leader of a unit. We can also be aware, like we are influencing people around us. And we can definitely, performance is something like everybody appreciates,
Yes, of
but
course.
influence is something that it is unseen, it is just there. You will come to know a little later that this was influenced or this was a bias kind of a thing. But this is
Right.
not about bias, it is more about really being a role model, being about creating the impact, like you're not just for yourself, you're doing it for others as well, in
Yes.
not directly but indirectly, through your
Yes, of
influence.
course, because nowadays kids are very smart than, I mean, kids are saying that you are not doing this thing, in an appropriate manner. My teacher is saying this, but you are saying something different. How can I, trust on whom I can trust? On my teacher, on you. So this is a difference in today parenting as well. So it is very important to understand what is influence and what is a performance and what is a task in your life and how gracefully you are handling all those things in your life is very important.
Yeah. So before we move into the last question, I want you to share with the audience, like where you are most active on social media. If somebody wants to reach you and get connected, so you can talk about the platforms that you are there. And
Yes,
yeah,
yes, of course. If you please, people want to connect with me, you can connect with me on Instagram and YouTube as well. On both platform, I am giving a lot of content about NLP, CBT, REBT, DBT. I mean, it is a blend of psychology with image consultant and with soft skill as well. So if you people want to understand more about me, please explore my channel, that is 360-degree feedback by Princi on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook as well. And you people want to join my WhatsApp community, you can join that as well. So yes, we are trying to, just we are just trying to give another perception, so that if this is possible, then that as well possible. Think from the other perception as well. So this is my approach, and what I can offer and what I can change, I can transform life for your mindset, with your mindset, with your because neuro, what is neuro, and how you can change your mind in just within 3 seconds or 60 seconds, because today is a very fast changing world. If we are not going to change and adapt those things in our life, then who will do for us? We have to do this for us.
yeah. So thank you so much for sharing your handles. And before we close this conversation, one last question about powerful leadership in terms of what does it mean to be powerful leader beyond your title and achievements?
Yes. What makes a leader? I mean, what is a leader? We are a leader by the people, for the people, and with the people. So it is very important to understand the, you know, the people are the treasurer in our life. If we are do not have such good people in our life, who will help us, who will listen to us? So it is very important to respect all those people who are helping us and all those people who want to work with us, because networking is important, collaboration is important, and for future self, as we are moving toward 2047. So we are now Viksit Bharat. We are attaching ourselves to Bharat Muhim. So it is very important to ourselves to be consistent in our life. Whatever action we are taking, it is for the betterment of ourselves, our family, and our social communities as well. So consistency produce quality, and those outcomes through other people. People are, the asset of our life, and how we are using those people for the betterment for ourselves as well, for themselves as well. So it is important to work on your tactics, your skills, because degrees and skills are not alone to grab the position which you want in your life. So today I give some of the techniques to NLP and from image consultant as well, so that you can work on your appearance, your image, and on your mindset as well. Because communication, self-image, and your confidence matters a lot in your life.
Thank you so much, Princi, for sharing this valuable information, especially from your expertise and all the knowledge that you have gained. And looking forward to an amazing year for your YouTube channel and Instagram handle and the content that you have been creating. So I do follow, I do watch
Yes.
some of your content, and all the best. And I look forward to having you again soon on maybe some other topic, some other time for
Yes,
now.
of course. It is like very close connection with you, Ranjini ma'am, as you are very humble with me, and I got a friend, kind of a friend with in you. So thank you so very much from the day one till today.
Mm,
So and I am going to be in connection with you because it is a very meaningful and fruitful connection with you. So thank you
definitely.
so very much for having me in your conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so much for staying in touch and love
yes,
this conversation and looking for many more and a lot of success for you in this year and beyond. Okay?
of course, because you already there, and lots of wishes to you,
Thank
Ranjini
you.
ma'am,
Thank you.
and
Thank
thank
you.
you once again.
Take care.
Yes.